Chapter 13. Steph pulled the skiff up, cutting the engine and letting it coast the rest of the way to the dock. The sun was starting to set, and it was time to get off the water. "If you'll clean 'em, I'll cook 'em." She nodded toward the basket of fish. Noah looked at the basket, then back at her. "Sounds like a deal. Do you have a place you prefer I do it?" "Not really, we usually clean them on the edge of the lake next to the dock. There's a good fillet knife in my tackle box." She tossed the bumpers off the edge and pulled the little boat in and tied it off. "Do you need anything out of your box?" "Not that I can think of. Why?" "'Cause if not, I'll leave you mine and take yours and the poles up." "Sounds good. I'll be up as soon as I finish up here." Steph picked things up and went back up to the house, putting her pole into the shed and carrying Noah's things around and putting them in the back of his truck so he wouldn't forget them later. By the time she made it back around the house, he was coming up the path from the lake. "Oh good. I was just coming to check on how you were doing." "All done." He held up the basket with the fish inside again. "I didn't have anywhere else to put them." "I'm sorry, we usually take a bowl down to put them in, and I forgot. Here, let me take those." Steph took the fish trap and turned to take the fish into the kitchen. "Where do you want this?" He held her tackle box. "Just set it in there." She pointed to the tool shed where it was kept. "There's a spot for it on the bench." Inside, she set the trap in the sink and turned on the water. "How do you like them?" Steph turned to ask Noah as he followed her inside. He gave her a blank look. "I really don't know. I've never had a fish I didn't like. Except canned tuna, but that doesn't really count." "Tuna doesn't count as fish?" She rolled her lips inward and bit them as she tried to keep from laughing. "No, canned tuna doesn't. I like tuna steak." "Ah. So if canned tuna doesn't count as fish, what does it count as?" "In my book? Cat food." She couldn't hold it back any longer and laughed. She didn't care for tuna either, but she didn't think it was quite that bad. "How about we take it out and toss it on the grill?" She glanced around for an apple, then pulled out a cutting board. "Whatever you want to do sounds good to me." "Want something to drink?" "Sure, what do you have?" "Actually, I'm not sure. Check the fridge." He looked in the refrigerator while she sliced the apple and got the fish prepped. "There's milk, Sprite, Pepsi and beer in here." "Have whatever you want." "What do you want?" "I'll have a Pepsi, but you can have a beer if you like." "Nope. I'm going to drive back to the Copelands, and I don't drink and drive, ever. I've seen too much of the results come through the ER." He pulled 2 cans of soda out and set them on the corner. "They're cold, but do you have ice?" "Yep. Glasses are in that cabinet." She motioned with her head. "And ice is in the freezer." "Do you want a glass too?" "Sure." He fixed their drinks while she got the fish wrapped in foil and cleaned up her mess. "You going to cook them all?" He frowned. "Yep. Mom and Dad will need to eat too, why not make enough for us all?" "I didn't think of them." Steph grabbed the lighter off the top of the fridge. "Come on out back, I'll light the grill and we can watch the sunset." She took her drink out with her as Noah followed.